Now, you may be wondering what's the difference between these two specimens. Well, let's look back at their genetic equation. Both of these have a vertex, and if you look very closely, you notice that within the equation there is a positive 5, which, since it's within the parentheses, within the parabola, and it is within the absolute value signs within the absolute value function, we can see that that changes to a negative sign. So instead of being positive 5, when you put it onto the graph, you see that it's negative 5. But then you also see the other component, which is a negative 2, which is on the outside. Since they both share that, and they both share that in common, they have the same vertex. So what does this mean? That they both have the same vertex where the line begins to move up to down and back up again. Well, so what does this mean? So, you're probably asking the question, what's the difference between these two specimens? Well, let's look back at their genetic equation. If you look at both of them within the parentheses or the absolute value sign, you see that there is a positive 5, which, since it's within that, it changes to a negative. So it then becomes negative 5, and on the outside of that, you both see negative 2 on both of these equations. So that means that they both have the same vertex. But what does that mean? Well, that means that they both share the same maximums and minimums, which is a scientific or mathematical term that refers to the top to bottom scale, the y-axis, of where it starts and ends. Both of these end at the same side. Both of the maximum height on both of these is at infinity, is at this positive infinity number that continues. But it's minimum, the place where it starts, where it actually starts, which is at that vertex, is at that negative 2. So for both of these, they share the same maximums and minimums, which is positive infinity and negative 2. And that is the range of both of these equations. And so what that means as a whole is that both of these, although have their unique traits, one is more curvy, one is V-shaped, they both share those same principles. They both have that vertex, they both have an end behavior that is exactly the same. So I quite enjoyed today. We went on out on the canoe and we saw a bunch of indigenous animals. But for our next one, we will go somewhere else to see more.